Going on, people? This is your boy Big Rich, D-Dot's Producer Corner, video tutorial, episode number 7. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start doing a lot of video tutorials on Reason 6. The reason why is because there's a lot of big changes in Reason 6 from Reason 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You feel me? So, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm starting this tutorial off on the little small basics about Reason 6 that y'all don't know, that y'all need to know, that's going to be crucial and beneficiary in the future. You dig? So, first things first, what we're going to be talking about today is bounce mixer channels. Now, you probably ask, like, what's that, bro? You know what I'm saying? Well, pretty much what bounce mixer channels is pretty much it gives you the ability to bounce each mixer channel in its own audio file. So if you got 5 tracks of drums, kick, snare, hi-hat, a tom, and a cymbal, you feel me? 5 mixer channels, then you can bounce each of those individual mixer channels in mono files or stereo files, and I'm gonna show you how to do it today. So let's get into it, homie. Alright, cool. Alright, what we're gonna do is, see all these mixer channels I got? You know what I'm saying? Well, this is the whole track, you feel me? So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna show you pretty much how to bounce down. So what you're gonna go do is, you're gonna go to File, alright? Go to File at the top left, alright, click on the File. I'm gonna scroll all the way down, almost to the bottom. Right underneath Export Loop as Audio File, you're gonna see Bounce Mixer Channels. Click on that, alright? Once you got it clicked on, pulled up, what you're gonna do, you're gonna see a whole bunch of mixer channels, and depending on how you got your session, if you got it colored, if you got it named, and stuff like that, and this is a recommendation, side note, name all your tracks and color all your tracks into, I should say, color all your tracks into group specified, you know what I'm saying? So if you got all your drums, color them all red, all your instruments, color them all blue. And you know what I'm saying, vice versa, or however you want to break it down, and also name your track. It'll help you keep track of what you got going on in your sessions or your beat sessions or whatever the case may be, okay? That's a little sidebar, side note, feel me? So let's get back to it. Alright, mixer channels. Alright, now there's a feature on the mixer channels where you can check all. Bam. Check all, you're done, you know what I'm saying? You check off some more stuff that I'm going to further explain in the tutorial, and that's it. Hit OK, boom, boom, you're going about your business. But if you want to be specific like I am, when it comes to the bounce down phase, you know what I'm saying, you can actually check off what tracks you want to bounce down. So if you don't want to bounce down the whole session or the whole beat, you know what I'm saying, pretty much you can bounce down things that you want to work on in another DAW like Pro Tools, Logic, or Cubase. So let's just say I wanted to bounce down all the drums. Now pretty much my drums are they're kind of like, how can I say it? It's not all the same thing, alright? Now as you see, I got a sub kick, I'm gonna check that off, alright? As you see, I got 2 claps, I'm gonna check those 2 off, alright? Then you see I got a snare, and these are audio files. Snare sticks, main drum line, and rim shots, those are actual audio files, not an instrument. So I'm gonna check those off too. Alright, and then I got my hi-hat and my cymbals. I'm gonna check those off. So I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 mixer channels I got checked off. Okay, now you see right here, you see the master section. Now the master section is pretty much the whole beat combined. All your channels going to the master bus channel, or the master fader, or the master channel, however you want to call it. Excuse me. It's the master channel, you feel me? Now you got the option to bounce that down, or you don't have the option to bounce that down, or should I say you don't have to bounce it down. Me personally, and rule of thumb, I wouldn't bounce it down, because when you bounce it down and you put it into Pro Tools and you load up your drums and you load up the master section, and if you don't have all your drum samples soloed, or should I say all your drum tracks soloed and everything else muted, what's going to happen is you're going to have the master section pretty much with everything in it, the whole song or the whole beat, and then you're going to have individual drum audio files, and you're going to confuse yourself. So word to the wise, I mean, if you want the whole beat bounce down, then okay, have it checked off. If you don't. Another thing you see is the effects, RV7000, and that's pretty much the reverb unit in Reason. And what this allows you to do, just like in Ableton Live, I know Ableton Live does this, you can actually bounce down your effects, the actual audio of the effects. Now, I probably lost some of y'all on this. That's okay. Pretty much what that means is you can actually bounce down the reverb signal by itself. Now, if you got a clap going on, you feel me? 9 times out of 10, you're going to hear the Now, if you just want to EQ or do whatever to the reverb audio by itself, all you pretty much going to bounce down is the actual reverb audio, you know what I'm saying? Is all going to be wet signal, not dry. No dry signal. And pretty much what dry signal and wet signal is the actual effects processor that you're using, and the dry signal is the actual instrument. So when you have this checked off, it's not going to be the instrument that it's affecting. It's actually going to be the effect audio. You know what I'm saying? What is actually coming out of the reverb. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to mix that. I just want all my dry audio. You know what I'm saying? All my dry audio. Okay. The next section you're going to look at is the apply mixer setting. Alright. Now I'm going to explain these because these are real crucial. Alright. Now, I'm going to explain the all setting. The all mixer setting is pretty much all your tracks are going to be bounced down according. Now, what it's going to do is all the audio is going to be bounced down into stereo files. Okay. Now, in these stereo files is going to be your compression and gate settings that you have applied on your mixer channels, and EQ and insert effects and send effects. All that is going to be bounced down into stereo files. Okay. Now, let's just say you have drums and you want to bring it into Pro Tools, Logic, or Cubase, and etc. Okay. Now, you want your kicks and your snares and all your drums. You want those to be mono channels. Well, look no further. Reason has actually fixed that problem, you feel me? So what you want to check off is the all except fader section, okay? Now what this allows you to do is it's pretty much going to bounce down all your effects and all your mixer channel settings until it gets to the fader section, okay? Now what this pretty much means, everything is going to be included, all your compressor settings, all your gate settings, all your EQ, your insert and send effects, all of that is going to be applied to that audio file. But, and this is the big but it's going to be actually in the mono file. So if you have a mixer channel and it's a mono mixer channel, then it's going to bounce it down into a mono file. That's wonderful. You know what I'm saying? The only thing is not, if you have your mixer channel fader set at -3.2, then it's actually going to bounce it down to 0. You feel me? And the pan, if you have your pan set at, you know, let's say at the 2 o'clock position, okay, pretty much what it's going to do is going to move all that audio to 0. You know what I'm saying? Straight up the middle, 0. So it's really not going to focus on what the levels and the pans are on that particular mixer channel. You understand what I'm saying? So it's pretty much going to bounce down everything, apply all effects applied until you get to the pan and level section, and just gonna round everything off 0, 0, boom, boom, boom. You still get your mono channel. You feel me? All your drums in mono. That's a wonderful thing. Now, the next section, which is none, absolutely nothing mixer channel applied. Now, the signal is going to be tapped off before it hits the EQ and dynamics and other channel settings. Now, this is crucial. Now, let me move this off to the side right quick. Now, as you see in the, it's not going to let me do it. Okay. Anyway, at the top in your mix channel, there's a section called in. And that's pretty much when you want, there's a particular instrument that's not really loud enough. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say you use a piano, NNXT piano, instrument, and you're playing on it and it's really not loud enough, and you go to the input section and you turn the gain up 2 dB. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much what's that going to do? You actually affected the input gain coming into the mixer channel. So now that, you know what I'm saying, it used to be 0, the actual signal has increased to 2 dB. You understand what I'm saying? So what that means is, you know what I'm saying, it's a 2 dB gain increase on the actual signal. So, you know what I'm saying, when you bounce all your channels down, that actual increase that you did on the input channel is going to be applied. But your compressor, gate, EQ, insert, and send effects, all that's not applied. And it's everything is going to be set at 0 level, 0 on the pan. You understand what I'm saying? But you still get your mono channels and or stereo channels. Alright, cool. Now the normalized section, you can have everything no matter what setting that you have on all 3 of them, all except fader section or none. Whatever setting that you check off, if you hit normalize, it's pretty much going to turn your audio at 0. I wouldn't mess with normalize because they ain't nothing but trouble for you. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing but trouble. But normalize is pretty much going to set everything at 0 at the maximum level, and bada bing, bada boom. You know what I'm saying? If you want to start from scratch and, you know, do your own level adjustment. But, you know, if you use Reason and you got it set to a certain, you know, it's a personal preference. I wouldn't do it. So, hey, moving on to the next thing. Range to bounce section. Pretty much kind of like what it means in export loop to audio file. Same thing here. You know what I'm saying? If you want to export it as a song, start to end, or if you want to export it loop, pretty much from your left and right indicators. Now, this is a real good feature right here also. Now, if you, let's just say you want to take all your drum tracks and bounce those down into the same Reason session that you have open, and you want to, you know what I'm saying, have audio files for those, you know what I'm saying, you can actually check off new tracks in song. And pretty much what it's going to do is it's going to bounce all your mixer channels down into an audio file format, and then it's going to automatically reinsert it and make a new audio track inside Reason 6, and bada bing, bada boom. You know what I'm saying? You actually have, let's just say we have the sub kick on the red drum, okay, and then right next to that or somewhere in the mixer channel, you're going to have the audio track of the actual sub kick from the red drum. Now, the feature they have on here is if you want to mute the original channels, you can take that off. So after it, you know what I'm saying, bounce everything down, it's going to mute that red drum sub kick channel. You understand what I'm saying? And vice versa. Or you can have it unchecked and you can have both of them running simultaneously. You can have both of them. I mean, you can have the mute original channel checked off, and you can have both the red drum sub kick channel and or the new audio sub kick channel playing simultaneously. Sorry about that. I have to slow down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? The next thing also is audio files on disk. That's pretty much what you're doing is you're going to bounce everything down. You're going to pretty much bounce everything down onto whatever disk that you want it on. So if we got all our drum channels checked off and we want to bounce it down to a jump drive or another external hard drive or vice versa, you know what I'm saying, you can actually bounce those down exactly to whatever disk you're using. And of course you have your file format, WAV or AIF files. AIFF files, excuse me, or WAV files. You can set your sample rate from 11,025 hertz all the way up to 192K, you know what I'm saying, which is really good HD type quality, you know what I'm saying. But, you know what I'm saying, standard bouncing down for audio files is 44, 1K or 48K. Okay. And of course you have 2-bit depths you can choose from, 2-bit rate sample settings that you can choose from, and that's 16 to 24. If you're going to use it into another DAW, and this is important, if you're going to use it into Pro Tools, Cubase, or Logic, or vice versa, or etc., choose 24 if you're going into another program. If you're just bouncing this down and you're going to put it on some type of CD or something like that, choose 16. But always, you know, to get the maximum dynamic range and headroom for your audio, always bounce down to 24 if you're going to use it inside Reason 6 or in another platform. and you hit OK. And what it's going to do is going to browse for folder, and it's pretty much about, you know what I'm saying, the audio to disk. Pretty much if I want to put it on a little big drive, my actual jump drive, the F drive, you just click there. And then what it's going to do, it'll actually make a brand new folder for you. It's going to say bounce, whatever your Reason session name is. So it's going to say bounce, then it's going to say it ain't over. And that's going to be the name of the folder, and all your audio files will be in there. Or if you want to be specific, you can actually make your own folder and put it in there actually. Hit OK, and everything's going to bounce down for you. No need to hear the song or anything like that. You're going to have a window. It's going to show your bars being bounced from 1 to, let's just say, 175. On average, it takes normally about a minute or two to bounce down. And that's it. So if you got any questions, you know what I'm saying, y'all hit me up on Twitter, and you can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/BigRich, and that's BIGRYCH. You can shoot me an email, and that's coxbeats08@gmail.com. Also, check out my website and the Joint Chief of Staff Production website, and that's www.jcsproductions.com. And also, if you want to email us about any type of audio needs that you need to take care of, you know what I'm saying, email us at jcsproductions.com. Also, I want to give a shout out to D-Dot, the host of D-Dot's Producer Corner, my co-host Trey, and myself, Big Rich, and of course, the man that runs everything at Icebreaker Radio, Chosen, you know what I'm saying? And everybody else, if I forgot about you, you already know what it is. It's all one love. This is another D-Dot's Producer Corner tutorial. I'm out. Peace.